Well, it's never good afternoon, man. Never good afternoon, man. And, you know what I mean? It's something to be grateful for. Being grateful is a wonderful thing. But we're going to discuss gratitude and justice, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? When it comes to justice, man, it tells you, man, that you must be just. You must be just to all. You know what I mean? You got to be just and fair. You know, you're supposed to be just with all, man, honor all deeds and deaths. And not only that, you must treat all people unfair, impartially, you know what I mean, and with respect and unbiasedness. You know what I mean? Because, we supposed to have been taught human equality, but everybody wasn't taught human equality. You know what I mean? Human equality was only taught in certain schools. You know what I mean? Human equality is what we fight for right now today. That's what it is. But at the same time, you must be just. You know what I mean? You got to be just in all situations. You know what I mean? You can't defraud his hire. You know what I mean? Because after you defraud his hire, somebody's laboring in their life to help you and do some of the things that you want to do, and they're doing it on the honest and the up and up, and you defraud his hire, that's violating the principle of love, and justice must catch you. You know, and when justice catch you for violating the fraud in his labor or his hire which gives you his labor because they are hired for the labor of helping you. And when you unjust, justice always takes its course. But for those who are just and are showing justice, you must give much gratitude. And the root and the part of the word gratitude is great. You can spell great with gratitude. You know what I'm saying? You must show gratitude, man. You got to show gratitude for the little things, man. The little things you must show gratitude to. You got to show gratitude to your evolution. When nobody else shows gratitude for your evolution, you got to show it. You know what I mean? A man that evolves or a person that evolves, man, from a fallen state and become to a point of consciousness and being able to think is what's most important. You got to be grateful for that. You got to show gratitude that you learn how to think. Because most people don't know how to think. You know, and one of the things I learned through this journey, you know what I mean, from some great teachers is if I can get you to think that you can save yourself. You know, they said if I can get you to think, you can save a nation. That was powerful. That was one of the things that was taught, that was given from the noble prophet Drew Ali, man, that I learned in the study of self. You know what I mean? In which the study of self takes a lifetime to master self. You know, and in these situations, man, it tells you, you must be what you know and not what you're told. You know what I'm saying? And that's true. You got to be what you know and not you told. See, you was told a lot when you were growing up. You were told a lot in school. But once you start learning more about yourself, once you start learning and studying yourself and realizing these attributes that these people didn't teach me nobody taught me that. Mama never taught me that. The school books never taught me that. I learned this through digging through myself. And I must show gratitude to what I've learned about myself. I must be grateful that I found me. I must be grateful that I was able to take these attributes, skills, and things that I have learned and apply them to my life today. And why? So the world can be gratified. So you can show gratification. The world can be gratified. It's not about gratifying the world. It's about having gratification for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Showing gratitude to yourself that you took the time out your day to learn these things. You know what I'm saying? And you must show gratitude at all times, man. A lot of people don't show no gratitude, but there's many ways you can show gratitude. There's physical ways of showing gratitude, and there's just ways that you can do in a small way to show gratitude. A thank you was a form of gratitude. There's nothing wrong with saying thank you. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong for being grateful, because you have to be grateful. You got to be grateful to be alive. You got to be grateful to be fed. You got to be grateful to be in good situations when you are. And even when you're in a bad situation, just be grateful that you get another day to show gratitude to another day to be able to get it right. But at the same time, you got to be just, man. A lot of people do a lot of unjust deeds to people. They do a lot of unjust deeds to people thinking that somebody won't see through these unjust deeds. A lot of people do unjust deeds in the dark which light shines. But when you come through with your light shining, it shines on everything in the dark. You know what I mean? When your feet are covered in the light and your lamp shines and the sun shines on you and walks with you through all your days and walks of life and everything that you try to achieve and accomplish, that you see to fit through. Let your light shine, man. Don't let nobody dim your light. You can't put no lampshade on that, because a lampshade ain't gonna go on your light. You know what I'm saying? Your light is part of your evolution as a man, as a woman, as an individual. And you must be just with all people in order to continue to have that happen. See, when you do unjust deeds, justice gonna always catch you. You know what I'm saying? When you violate any one of these 5 principles known to man, love, truth, peace, or freedom, especially peace, look how much justice takes its course when peace is violated. How many times has somebody violated your peace? How many times has peace been violated in this world and justice is catching them? When they can't get along and peace has to be restored, that's the whole thing. When everything is in chaos, peace has to be restored. Why? Because when peace ain't restored, justice is always catching up in one shape, form, or matter. It was a bad happening, going to jail, losing somebody. Justice will always catch you. When you're not being genuine, when you're not being forthcoming and upright, it's going to always catch you. You feel what I'm saying? Because you're not being just. You know what I'm saying? You're doing unjust deeds. And unjust deeds are not for the genuine. When your motives are pure, you're doing just deeds. When your faith is strong and you putting in the work every day, you're doing just deeds. You're going to be rewarded. You can't stop staying the course because your reward didn't come right away. Nah, rewards come in time. You got to be patient. Patience is a virtue. Patience is something you always got to have. A lot of times we lost sight of having patience, and guess what happened when we ain't have patience? When we went too fast and sped up, justice caught up with us. I mean, when I tell you justice caught up with us, it caught up with us in a major way. But when you evolve, when you use your tools, when you find yourself, when you locate yourself, when you find out who you really are beside what mama taught you, what the schools taught you, or what the world thought about you, man, I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing. It's not beautiful for you to find out. It's for others. It's beautiful for others to see it in you. Why? It's because it's gratitude. When somebody walks up to you and congratulates you on you turning the corner, they're showing gratitude. Not because they might not even know you. They might knew of you, knew what you was about. You feel what I'm saying? They knew what you did previously. They knew about your past. But to see you in your present and to give you your flowers and your due was a form of gratitude, man. You know what I'm saying? And you got to accept that gratitude as a sign of, I really turned it. Because you did. You stayed the course, you had faith, you took these tools, you took these gems, and you worked, and you worked, and you worked tirelessly, man. Because it's not an easy job. It's not always easy to overcome everything. But as long as you stay the course and continue to do just deeds and continue to live under love and continue to contribute to peace. You know what I'm saying? You must be for peace and not destruction. All destruction is going to do is take you backwards in the chaos into a confusing state. And once you're in a confusing state and become lost, you no longer be able to think. And when you can't think, you can't do nothing. You know? Let me tell you something. Thought, before anything was an action, there's a thought. The thought is always the cause of it all. And being as though we know the cause of it all, if you can't properly think or be able to think, you're going to move recklessly and you're going to move unconsciously. See, there's the subconscious and there's the conscious. See, the subconscious is what you move off of. But when you actually go back and sit down and think about you and reflect on your day, your conscious kicks in, and that's when you start making changes to what happened the day before. Why? It's because now that you sat down and consciously thought about it, it's like, damn, wait a minute. I could have did better. I could have did different. I could have communicated better. I could have just stated what it was, man, and just, you know what I mean, got a better understanding of us, what we're dealing with, who we are, and where we're going. But being just and having gratitude, man, is one of the most important things, man. You got to be grateful for things you don't even have. You got to show gratitude for it because it'll come. You know what I mean? As long as you stay just. As long as you stay just, man, it happens for you all the time. You'll never be at a shortage, ever. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't know how to show gratitude because, you know, I mean, you can have been through so much and had so much wrong and been to such a down point, but you still got to remain just. You still got to remain just to the point that you don't take out your frustrations. You don't take out your anger and what you've been through on everybody else. And that's when you start to become unjust, because you taking your feelings and emotions, you taking everything you went through in your past, and you imposing it on other people. And if you don't even see that you imposing it on other people, you got to step back, self-reflect, and go, what am I doing? Why am I getting this reaction? Am I self-imposing my will, not my will, but am I self-imposing what I went through or my emotions on somebody in a negative sense that now I become repulsive? And you know, if you sit back and look at it, you always have people look at you sometime, and you might look at a point where people look at you, and sometimes you just be wondering why people like don't want to be around you, or you feel like people don't want to be around you, or you wonder why people look you off. It's because it's like bug off. It's a repulsion. You know what I mean? It's an energy that nobody wants to be around. Why? It's because when they trying to sit back and be just with you and show you gratitude and show you some love, your attitude pushes them away. You become repulsive. Nobody wants to be there, and people keep their distance from them. Why? It's because it interferes with their circle and things that they got going on. That it does. You know what I'm saying? It's positive times, man. We done been through so much negative times as a people in the world that it's time to change lanes. It's time to be at peace with peace. It's time to show love to the unloved, and even the people who show love got to show more love, because a lot of people need it. You know what I mean? We've been in a downtrodden state where we had nothing, to the point where we're able to achieve. And, you know, when you're able to achieve, and even the little wins and the little achievements, they lead to bigger achievements. But you can't defraud his high. His high is coming to bring justice to you in your situation. But when you defraud, deceive, play games, lie, tricks, and things of that nature, justice gonna catch you. Why? It's because a person giving you a genuine op who looks for you for guidance, information, a way in, a way out, and you don't give it, or you give them false information. Not only just false information, but you give them information to keep somebody else from being just to them. You give them information so nobody else can get your spot. You give them information so that they won't like the same people that you don't like, and they never met them. You give them the same information that's going to keep them from growing. And you got people out here in this world that don't want you to grow. So if they ain't growing, you ain't growing. You ain't going without me. But that's when you got to sit back and self-reflect and understand that I'm going to grow with you or without you. If you can't understand my evolution, if you can't understand my growth, if you can't understand my light, then where are we going? Because I'm here to help you grow if you want to stand under this light. I'm here to give you your tools. I'm here to water your plants. I'm here to sharpen your steel. But I can't sharpen your steel or contribute to your growth if you're tainted by unjust people. So you can't let unjust people taint you. Because in order to make your situation, you can always make your conditions better. And in order to make your conditions better, you have to change the way you think. Sometimes you got to change your surroundings and the people you be around. Sometimes your spirit or your energy don't agree with the energy around you. It tells you that all the time. You feel it. So what happens when you feel it? Sometimes you got to make them adjustments and changes, because that's what the heart tells you to do. It ain't what your mind tells you to do. Your mind is constantly thinking, but your heart is telling you that this ain't working. You know what I mean? And sometimes when you remove yourself from toxic situations or unjust people, your growth in your life continues. Your movement continues. Things get better for you. And you realize from the outside looking in, after being in those unjust situations, that they were holding you back. You got to express gratitude for that. You know what I mean? When you express gratitude for that, man, it's going to always work out, because you're grateful. The root word of gratitude is grateful, because you can spell gratitude with great first. And then you can become great. Food for thought.